So welcome back. No, hold on. I gotta do this differently. Can't be the same intro because it's supposed to be we're back. So we're back. We're back with a brand new. Okay, that doesn't sound right either.
Fine.
This is hilarious. That's why I
You
said
should have
it'll
one
be
that says,
funny.
"We are back, back."
I hope y'all enjoyed your holidays, cause I know we did. But now we're back. We're back with a new season, season 4 of the Fit the Description podcast. And before this podcast starts, I wanted to go ahead and tell y'all about ourselves, especially if this is your first time or your first episode checking us out. This podcast is a Black men's podcast, and we come together twice a month to record a bi-weekly podcast that's split into 4 chapters. 2 episodes a month, released into 4 chapters every week with a rotating cast every episode. But what makes our podcast unique is we're not a cultural podcast, we're an opinionated podcast. And we discuss a variety of different topics from Black men with different ideologies, perspectives, and beliefs. For example, one topic can be about the culture and what's happening within the Black community. Another topic could be about politics. We may go ahead and have a conversation on playing video games and how we feel about this game coming out. And then we may switch and go ahead and talk about dating and how the dating life's going. And then we may even go ahead and talk about how it is to be a father and have kids. Basically, we just talk about a variety of topics. But understand, if you come to this podcast, don't expect to hear a monolith of ideas. Because the point of this podcast is to bring various different Black men with different belief systems, views, ideologies, faiths together to come here and have conversations on a variety of topics. So don't expect us to come here and say kumbaya and we all agree. I bet you, I guarantee it actually, if you stay here long enough, you're probably going to find somebody who you really like, and you're probably going to find somebody that you really don't. But that's the point of this podcast, is to bring various Black men together with different ideologies to come here and have discussions and debates, depending on how the conversations goes, to share our views and ideas, and for y'all to take that information and do with it as you wish. Now, I want to be clear. We are not a political podcast. This is not necessarily a debate podcast. That's not what this is. Like I said earlier, and I'll say it one more time, this is an opinionated podcast. So the entire point is to bring Black men together twice a month to have conversation on a variety of topics, whether agree or disagree, to be able to shake each other's hands and go about our own way, and come back and do it again next month. We're not about drama. This is not about starting beef. This is about having conversations, good or bad, and sharing our opinion. And hopefully, y'all out there will get something out of this podcast. But moving forward, I do want to make y'all 3 promises. First, we don't care about what your background is, what your belief is, what you care about. None of that crap matters to us at all. If you like what we do and you support us, you're always welcome here. We have an open door policy, so you can come and go as you please. If you want to be a part of this community and you love what we do and you want to help us grow this brand, hey, thank y'all. And if you decide it ain't for you, hey, hopefully you give us another chance in the future. But again, we have an open door policy and we accept everybody, no matter who you are, outside of certain extreme examples. And if you want to know what those are, we will let you know if they come up. Second, we're always going to stay true to ourselves. And what I mean by that is we are an opinionated podcast. That means we're totally fine and believe that people are entitled to their opinions. Whether they're right or wrong, we agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. It's your opinion and you're allowed to have one. The last promise, you're not always going to like what people have to say. We have a rotating panel and we have people coming on with different ideas and different belief systems, and you're not always going to agree or like what somebody has to say. And on this podcast, we'll give them the right to say it. That does not mean we agree. That does not mean we will not challenge it. That does not mean we support what somebody has to say. On this podcast, you have a right to state your opinion, and we, depending on the conversation, have a right to challenge your opinion. So be aware, you're not always going to like what people have to say, and we will give them the right and the ability to say it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. There may be certain limitations, but that's usually only in a situation where the topic may be a little too spicy. And in those circumstances, we'll probably put it behind something like Patreon. Or, which is a dream of mine, to put it on our website behind a membership page. And that is what we're trying to get to in the hopefully near future. Once again, don't look at us as a monolith. We are individual people and we have our own ideas. Now, I do want to take the time to thank everyone who's checked out this channel and checked out this podcast. I want to thank all of our subscribers. We're not a very big channel yet, but for the ones that's been with us so far, we want to thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for sticking with us and checking out our podcast. We definitely appreciate it. And also being the first to help us build this community. Thank you. And to all of y'all who are international and not here in the US, we want to give a shout out to y'all. We see y'all checking out our stuff. We see y'all subscribing, but we do want to make sure that we shout y'all out because we see y'all and we want to thank y'all. And if you want to be a part of this podcast, make sure to comment down below. And the thing is, if you do comment, there's a chance we may read your comment on a future podcast. If it's really good, we may actually make it a topic on a future podcast. And it depends on the panel list, but you may get a chance to talk with somebody on the panel on the OPN channel in the future, depending on what that panelist would like to do. So I would like to thank y'all for checking out this video. Make sure to check out the OPN Opinion Piece Network channel to see full episodes of the podcast. And if you want clips, make sure to check out the Fit the Description podcast to see clips from the full episodes of the Fit the Description podcast. Also, for you over there on the audio platforms, you can check us out also on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, to name a few. Links will be down below to all of this. And we also have a Patreon. Now, I do want to talk about this real quick. The Patreon is not going to be supported until we get a bigger audience. So don't expect there to be much on there for now. But there is some content on there. So if you want to see some exclusive content, make sure to check out OPN over there on Patreon. Link will be down below. But again, that's not going to be touched for a while until this audience gets bigger. So don't expect to see much on there. Now, with that being said, I want to thank y'all for checking out this video. And I hope you stick around and help us build this community and build this brand. Now that you have an idea of who we are, we're going to go ahead and get started with Season 4 of the Fit the Description podcast, episode 70. Here we go. Welcome back to Fit the Description, a Black men's podcast where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got Adam.
Yo.
I don't know what the hell he said, but okay.
Oh,
And
it's me, shopping. Can you hear me? Shopping Mitch in the store, Albertsons.
Well, we'll get you now. And we got Shibidi or Keys. Well, I guess Keys tonight.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
So with that being said, make sure to check the links all down below. And outside of that, let's just go ahead and get started with the new seasons. So what's up, y'all?
Nothing much, man. Just a lot of shit going on right now. That's affecting me by not affecting me directly.
I'm going to start off by asking a question since we got a bunch of fathers here today, and I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this. Oh, no, I don't even want to start there. Let's actually start fun. Let's actually start with a comical one. Since Adam, we're going to be talking about your stomping grounds. Did you see that clip of that one dude who jumped over who basically jumped over the stand to get the judge?
I've seen that shit, man, and I can tell you that I swear I seen this guy before, like in the news and everything. So when he was there again, I was just like, damn. But when he did that Superman fly,
He took a flight over there. He became Luke Cage.
Look, I bet you gonna be some memes out there talking about up in the waves.
You know, what's funny is what he said before he went when he said when he said what the hell, I forgot what he said. He was like, hell no, or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he was
then
like, hell no, or something like that.
Yeah.
I heard him say something, but I couldn't clearly hear what he had said.
I mean, but you know what's crazy? It's just like the other newscast said after I had said it before I saw the other newscast, but which is that, he's up there telling her about he's having mental issues and that he didn't know he had mental issues and that his record was saying that he had mental issues. And she just, oh, well, I think it's this, that, and the third. And I was like, well, I'll show you I got mental issues. And he jumped over the damn podium. I was like, I bet they'll believe he got a mental problem now, because nobody in their right mind would do that in open court.
I've
Did you
never
see
ever
the guy who was hitting him?
Huh?
Did you see the guy, not the security, but like the other lawyer or something, how he was hitting the guy?
Yeah, he was hitting him way too much.
No, not
He was
the
the
security
lawyer.
officer. Yeah, but the
Yeah, the guy
way
in the
he was
suit.
hitting him. The way he
Yeah,
was
oh,
hitting him though.
yeah, it was like a bee, like a bee. Like, oh, I finally get to hit somebody.
Right? He's like take that, take that.
Yeah, like he wasn't even socking. He was like doing a slap punch, like slap punch, slap punch.
I wanna just be like, congratulations, you did something, but I don't know what you did.
Right. He hit him while he was down. Hey, yeah,
It's
when
like
you get him on the floor, it was like, when you get him on the floor, I'm gonna bite him. like, like it was a punk move. That's all I'm
it
saying.
really was.
Yeah.
It was a punk move.
I wonder what he's gonna go home and say. Yeah, I beat my first black guy. He was on the ground though, but I got a couple punches in.
I was reading the comments, and I don't know if it's true, but I think they said that dude, I guess what he was being charged for would have probably been like a misdemeanor, or maybe got a couple of months. And that dude probably went from like maybe at the most 6 months to probably now going down for like years.
That guy's gonna be in jail,
Well,
yeah, for a
it might
long
not
ass
fly. It
time.
might not fly because they are considering his mental state.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
like you said, at
It
this
might
point, there's no.
At this point, there's no denying that this guy has a mental problem. They
Yeah, I
can't
agree.
deny him at this point, even if it was an act. They can't deny it. The shit went viral. Nobody in their right mind would leap over the dang podium for a few months in jail. Nobody.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I've never seen nothing like that before. I mean, I've heard, like you said, outside the courtrooms of like judges being like assassinated or stuff like that, but I've never ever seen some dude. I've even heard of guys try to attack the judge, but they never were successful. I've never seen a dude go over there, jump over the freaking podium to get at a
Actually
judge.
make
That
it.
was crazy.
He took off like an Avenger.
Right?
He was like, I'm about to Wakanda this.
Man. What's up?
The situation with Jonathan Majors.
Okay, you know what? If you want to go into that, this goes into one of my topics, and this is one of the things I want to talk about.
I just can't be too loud because I'm up in the store,
All right, fair enough.
I don't know when jumping me when I go to my car.
Because I mean, if we're talking about Jonathan Majors, I mean,
John Cena.
Oh, this fool. But what I'm trying to say is not just Jonathan Major, man. Have you noticed they've been going after every dude? There's an entire list of dudes right now that they're literally like at the end of the year, they're getting the fuck up out of here. They're going to Jonathan Major. Diddy got some accusations now. Vin Diesel got sexual assault. Jermaine Jackson.
Look, I believe any allegation against Diddy. I'm just gonna be honest.
Fair enough. They're going after Chris Jericho. And
he's still alive?
We told me so. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the stories I heard, and I know a lot of people came out against Diddy, so I always felt like Diddy was kind of a little weird to me.
Oh. Man, the only thing we're missing now is just the setup that he did for Biggie at this point.
You said what? The setup for Biggie?
Yeah, the setup. He set up Biggie. That's the only thing we're missing.
You see, that's the one that I probably don't agree with you. I don't think Diddy would set up Biggie. that
Mace,
doesn't
Mace,
make
Mace, 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 Mace feel like there's a reason that everybody falls. That's why he ain't under contract. Mace been talking about Diddy for a while.
A lot of people been talking about Diddy for a while. Just nobody listened or paid attention.
But remember, Mace was his guy. So it's like Mace is more concrete than anybody's because Mace wrote all them hits. All them hits that they had in Bad Boy, Mace was writing that shit. That's the thing. That's what people Mace come out with a few songs every now and then. People like, what's the deal with Mace? No, Mace be writing all them hit songs. He like the candy of Bad Boy.
Yeah.
He wrote all them. Then all the major good songs that went anywhere, he wrote them. He had his foot in them, but he not under no major contract with Diddy. So that's why he can say what he want to say and do what he want to do. You know.
Well, yeah. But the thing is that this one thing I'll say about Diddy is that there's just been a pattern with him of like just a lot of people. So
I know that anybody from Bad Boy just don't go nowhere. Like what happened to the band? Like
right?
any of them. Like they had to go across town for a cheese sandwich, and now them niggas ain't got a quarter. What happened to Chopper?
Yeah, and Chopper was the only one that they really did anything with for a little bit.
Right. That old funny looking. Let me stop.
Hey man, you're good. As long as you don't go to the East Coast, you're fine. No, my fault. I think it's from the South. Yeah, as long as you don't go down south, you'll be fine.
There's a whole bunch of better people from the South.
Well, yeah.
The South got all the best high intensity music when it comes to dance music, especially.
I mean, I like Big Crit.
No, see, I don't want to go there.
But I haven't heard anything from Big Crit song for a while. Well, I haven't really looked them up, but I like them.
You like Lil Boosie? That's what's been getting back in media.
All right,
constantly.
no, I'm sorry. I'm not a Boosie fan. Though, but me, no.
My wife has been stuck on Boosie stuff lately.
Man, I don't know what's going on with that. You know,
and my little daughter, she be listening to Set It Off when she getting ready in the morning, like she from that era. They set it off, and it's not. What the hell is wrong with her? Why y'all keep acting like y'all made out of glass? Is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm driving.
I was just having that issue earlier, right before I got off.
Let me stop. All right, what were we talking about?
Well, we're just going down a list of. Basically, we're going down a list of all the celebrities that they're trying to get up out of here right now.
Oh,
so
they're just making way for the people who aren't getting recognition.
Who's that?
All of these new whack actors that they got now. they're getting shadowed. They're shadowed by they're in what's the name? They're in everybody else's shadow. You know.
You gotta give me some.
We don't have any major actors. Back in the day, like when you had major actors like Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks. I think the only one we really have is what's his name from Creed, and maybe Will Smith. But still, Will Smith is still in that older category. Like they don't have.
I mean, not that Will Smith is not perceived as the same as what he used to be.
It don't matter how you feel about him personally. So far as acting, the nigga's a superstar. I don't care if the movie's whack. He don't miss. He don't miss. I'm sorry. He does. He in the acting department.
That's not true. That's not true.
He don't miss. I didn't say nothing about the film. Name one film where he had bad acting in it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Cause I was about to say, nah, there's been a couple of films where they missed, but yeah, if you're talking about him, I'll give you that.
Okay, the Earth movie, but to be honest, I think it wasn't that. I kind of liked it, but that movie he flopped on that. He spent too much money on it, but it wasn't a horrible concept,
Yeah, but it
and
didn't do
and
well
that
at
and
all.
that and that was mostly his son. And even when but every scene he was in, he killed it. So that's just, and I'm not even saying it in a biased way. Just real talk. The dude is a phenomenal actor.
Well, nobody's
I'm not
denying
even.
that. Nobody's
Yeah,
denying his acting ability, but we're saying his his
personal
presentation is
life.
not the same. No, not personal. His presentation, because of what happened, isn't the same. He doesn't have the same
I
reverence that he used
mean,
to.
yeah, but he even after that, even after that, he did some shit after that and still killed it.
No, yeah, nobody's denying that, but his reverence is not. It's not the same though.
Right. Well, my thing is like this. When it comes to Will, you gotta see it like this. This dude has been squeaky clean for years. This nigga he has put on this persona his entire life. So, and he has to maintain that image. It's only a matter of time for somebody to have a breakdown. And I think that's just what happened. He had a
Nobody's
fucking
denying that.
breakdown. He
I'm
had a
not.
breakdown.
Yeah, but that's nobody's arguing that. Yeah, we are. I think everybody agrees with that. Nobody's denying that.
He got the whole world laughing at him. His wife is making him feel inadequate. Like that's horrible how she do him. Like how she did him. She's been publicly humiliating him for years, and now that he's been getting the worst of it. He got to sit with her at the end of a table and let her sit and talk about how oh my god, let her sit and talk about how how bad
Entanglement
he is in bed.
and entanglement.
Yeah, how bad he is in bed compared to one of them young boys. I want to get me one of them young boys. Oh, I'm still in love. I'm in love with a dead man. He was more man than you ever be. He's like a she like a skinny Respucia. Just a evil heifer. I'm just saying. I don't care what happened. Like, why are you publicly humiliating him? Like, he hasn't done the same thing to her. Is all I'm saying. Regardless of what they've been through or what they go through, that dude will not publicly humiliate her. Even to this day, even now, even with all the stuff that she's come out with and all the bashing that she has done and the pain that she has caused, whether it's truth to her accusations or not, the whole thing is he's never done the same to her. He's respected her through it all, and that's where the problem comes in. That's where the evil shit is. That's where she's scandalous at. I don't care if what she says is true. You shouldn't bash the man that's been holding you down for umpteen years, and now you wanna publicly humiliate him on a regular basis. Now it died down and you not relevant no more. So now you want to write a book to further publicly humiliate this man.
Yep.
That it's just I can't I can't respect that. I can't respect that. I don't care if the marriage was failing. I don't care if she felt some kind of way. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not something people do when they together. You know, somebody that love you when like Eminem said when his girl put his name on the Christmas gifts, even though he didn't have the money to buy nothing, right? That's what somebody that care about you do. You know what I mean? Like she's sitting here publicly humiliating him. She don't give a damn about him. And that's dirty. They have children together. She making the whole family look bad. That's not okay. Somebody's treating you with the utmost respect, and you do that to them. Come on, man. You can't justify that. But my bad, I'm going off in a tangent.
No, it's cool. Do what you gotta do. That's why I went quiet. I'm gonna let you say your piece.
No, it's true. I had seen a meme and I thought it was funny, but I thought it was true at the same time. That it was and I thought it was real. It was a video of Will Smith and Jada, and she was talking about how she, had to set the music with. She had to get the mood right there and set it with Tupac music in order just to be able to, be with Will.
Right.
And I thought that was like the funniest thing. At first, I was like,
That
"Is
is
this
funny.
real?" Because it was at
But it's
the table and everything.
she for the streets. She want that thug life. How you gonna have how you gonna have this dude is a superstar. This dude play a superhero. How many times has Will saved the world on the silver screen, man? What is going on? Why? What?
I don't know. I can't say. I just, if
I'm just saying,
the
what more? What more? My thing is, what more do you want? What more? What better catch can you possibly get? You know what I'm saying? This
for
dude got
Tupac.
hit after this guy when he did the rapping on Jaden's Icon. And he ripped it. I mean, yeah, it was a little, it got a little corny style or whatever because it's dated. But he was speaking truth. He was like he got features. You know, say he said you talk about an icon living. I'm an icon living because he is. He done everything. Like, come on, man. And you gonna sit up here and bash this dude? Who done been there for you? Come on, man. It's proof that women, a lot of women, I hate to say it, a lot of women will never be satisfied, no matter what you do. That's why you got to do you. Like real talk. Like if a dude with I don't know what he got, a quarter million, 100 million, can't keep a chick. Man, what Earthquake say? A nigga with $2 can't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yep. But I mean, what can you say? I mean, she got Will Smith, but the one she really wanted was Pac.
Pac is a dead man. No offense. Rest in peace. And Pac, the cold part about it is Pac, Pac, Pac wasn't even his persona. Pac started out just like Will. He just switched up and started doing that thug stuff. But before that, that dude was academic in his academics, writing poetry, being sweet and innocent to and everything else. But he switched up. He switched up his persona. He wasn't like that before. They got footage of this fool talking about man. He talking. A girl told me that I was too nice.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They got footage of this dude talking like that.
I
And
remember.
then then years late, then a few years later, F bitches, you know. Just like the females try to blame guys for changing up in their behavior, that's what happens. You get tired of being nice and sweet and being trying to cater to their needs, and then they screw you over, and then they turn into that. Tupac's a perfect example. Snoop Dogg said it. We don't love them hoes.
That is true. That's why I said the woman who you pick matters. That's why it's a man. I know we talked about this before, but that's why it's a man. You got to pay attention to her past because what she did, a woman's past can be a mirror to your future. You have to pay attention.
No, not everybody, because some people will be rehabilitated.
No, I mean, of course, it's always those exceptions, but like I told you before, like when we had this, I'm not trying to go back all the way back into it because we already had that podcast. But like I said it before, it doesn't have to necessarily be a disqualifier, but you should always take notes.
What about your born again Christian?
Oh yeah. Born again Christian.
That could be a big deal.
It can be, and this is one thing I'll sit there and say that with a born again Christian, like I said, if you actually have made the change and changing your lifestyle and all that stuff, then okay. But again, at the end of the day, which I will sit there and agree, I will at least concede here. I will give you this. You don't know what's going to happen at the end. You have no idea. All you can do is just go by what you see and what you know through that process. That's all you can really do. That's why I continuously say you can't, like I said, you don't have to make it a disqualifier, but you should pay attention to that, in my personal opinion.
Right.
So, but yeah, like I said, and that's the thing, because I'll be honest with you, because of my faith background, I have an issue with that too, because I don't ever want to make especially particular woman who actually did have a past and then gives her life to Christ and then it's actually changing her life.
Half of them women that they gave their life to Christ went through something dramatic,
I
and
know.
a lot of times that be one of the things they went through.
I know, and that's the
they
thing.
Be broken. That's what leads them to the church.
I know.
Unfortunately, I feel like sometimes when people be like, "Why do God allow bad things to happen?" And when I think about this stuff, I'm like, yeah, to remind us about the good things, and also I say to get us closer to Him. Because if the bad things didn't happen, you wouldn't try to go to church. You wouldn't open the Bible. You wouldn't look to faith at all. If everything was just great, you wouldn't care. It wouldn't affect you. So you go through something traumatic, and now you want that emotional support.
I don't know
You
if
know what
I
I'm
fully
saying?
agree with that. I don't know if I fully agree with that.
I mean, well, why would you? So why is things perfect? There's a God, so why is things not perfect?
I mean,
Why do people
there's
get killed and people get murdered and
well, the thing is,
homeless?
the thing is, I would say, wait, hold on. Okay, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Shit. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
All I'm saying is, when we see people hurting,
No.
it's to
Go back
remind
to what
us
you're
of
saying.
our blessings.
No. Go back to what you're saying. Like what did you say? Because I want to respond to that. I just lost my train of thought.
Man, I said a lot, bro.
I know. No. You said something that the
I'm
child.
all I'm saying is, a lot of times you done made me lose this match because now I gotta repeat my vocal
Good.
self.
So,
All I simply said was, I feel like, the free will and allowing things to happen the way they happen it puts us in that faith mode. We can't, if everything was perfect all the time, we wouldn't we wouldn't consider going to church. A lot of people wouldn't consider even going to church. They wouldn't care, you know?
yeah, I don't think I agree with that premise.
I
I don't
agree
think I
with
do.
it because
I agree
like
with it.
you're still gonna have faith. I mean,
Yeah,
at that point, your faith has been answered, and you're living in a place where you want to live at, praising who you want to praise, and believe that everything's gonna be
yeah, because
fine.
my faith isn't determined on if things are bad or good. I don't need like to go through hell to be
Right.
reminded like I need to get closer to God.
Right.
Like
Right now.
I live a life knowing that, yeah, especially just to be a good person of faith, that you should naturally want to get closer to God and closer to religion. So I don't think I agree with the premise of like going through hell as a reminder. How I like to say, if you want to if you want to know how my thoughts,
Unless
I I always like to say that, God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle, and that's what I believe. Like, you're gonna go through shit, but I believe that.
Yeah, but yeah, they say that, but then you also have to realize that you will put shit on top of that, you will put stuff on yourself. So
I don't
therefore,
think that
you will feel like you can't handle it, because
I don't.
you're gonna put more on yourself. It, like, say instance, God's got you struggling, got you going through stuff, and then you go over to that nasty girl's house in the middle of the night, and a STD, and then you mess around and have a baby, she get pregnant, and you're like, oh man, Lord, you putting too much on me. It's like, no, you put that on yourself. I had this issue for you to deal with and to work through, and then you added to that. So now you're overwhelmed. Now you have too much on you because you went out and did what you wanted to do because you got free will. On
Well,
top
because
of, because there's already stuff set in play that's gonna be in your way that you need to learn and how to move and operate. But then us as humans, we sit up and we add on top of that because something's gonna happen.
hmm,
Something's going to happen. I don't care what it is. Something's going to happen. But then we turn around and we put stuff on ourselves. Like I say, you wanted to go over to that nasty girl house, or you wanted to go on that side of town where you know you didn't need to be on that side of town, and now you're overwhelmed.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
but that's too.
Hold on, let me turn this down because I can't hear.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to let Adam go too, because Adam was about to say something.
Um,
Yeah, he's louder
uh,
than you for some reason.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. No, it was just that I was just going off of what you were saying because it's like, God doesn't, when it's hard to this, not to state, but it's like if God put something that He knew that you can overcome. What about the people who, become homeless and then all that other shit happens to them? They stay homeless, drug addiction. What about the people at mental illnesses that they can't overcome and they just stay that way? The reason they're able to even like do what they're doing now is just because of the medication they're taking.
Right. There was a post my wife sent me, and I wish I could. I'm trying to look and see if I could find it. But it says some people are here to remind us of God's favor. It was something like that. Something simpler, like something along the lines of that that was going in it, and it's all overly
Yeah,
complex. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all speculation and theoretical and stuff like that. But it's just one of those things where it's like you see stuff and you're like, why does this happen? That I was just getting on why things are allowed to happen because a lot of
yeah,
times
but
people get that question.
yeah, because
A lot of
I
times
mean,
people ask that question, like, if there's a God, then why do bad things happen?
yeah, no,
People say that.
I get that, but I still agree. I think I still don't agree with the premise of going through bad shit gets you closer to God. I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, that I mean, I'll agree to disagree because
Yeah.
I feel like the more you go through stuff, the closer you get to God.
And I wouldn't even
Uh,
say, because there's plenty of examples of people who go through shit and then leave God and leave the belief and leave the faith
right, right. That
altogether.
that
So
happens too. But the average person, the way the average, we're talking about the average. Uh, hello,
yeah, I'm here.
That sounds a little bit like Stockholm syndrome to me, in a way. Not
average
saying that it
Wait,
person.
is.
wait,
Can you hear
Adam,
me?
what you say? Can you turn up?
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you better. You're good
Yeah.
now.
Oh, sorry about that, you guys. I was just saying that that sounds a little bit like Stockholm syndrome to me, a little bit, but not exactly. Because it's like saying that if you be with me, then only good things will happen. If you don't be with me, negative things will happen. So if
Oh
you
no,
come
I
to the
don't. I
church,
don't. I don't believe in that.
be with be be in the church. I'm gonna send you through a struggle, and then once you surpass it, come back to me, and then once you've done that, then I'll make sure you're all good. But if you leave me, there's some negative things are gonna happen to you.
What I'm saying is that a lot of people, just like anything, just like a child, right? Because you always call him the father, right? Just
Yeah.
like a child. Guess what? A child know everything. A child know everything until he in trouble. Once
Yeah,
he in,
that's true.
once he in trouble, mama, daddy, you know. And that's how I look at that. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm just trying to get at. Like, yeah, we out here cooling and chilling until the shit hit the fan.
But then, and that's why I almost reject that premise. You only go
I'm
to
not
God when
saying no.
bad
You
things
don't
happen.
only go to God when bad things that happen, but the average person they do. How often do you pray on a regular basis? You don't. A lot of times people don't think of praying or anything or thanking God. A lot of people don't think of that until a tragedy happens. This, if you be honest with yourself, we're talking about being honest with yourself.
I mean,
You don't
again,
pray.
maybe I'm different, but no, like I never had to go to bad things to get me close to God. Like I never
No,
had to do
no.
that.
What I'm
I
saying
never,
is what you
I never had to in my most dire situation. I went to God in my most. No, I've always been. Like that's what people
you're
want to
not
say.
okay. So let's back up. How often you go to church?
Oh well, again, my
No,
feelings are
no. I'm just
it's
asking you a
no,
question.
no, no. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not a good question for me because
You
it
gonna
doesn't
make me
work for me
forget
because
what I'm
my
gonna
feelings on
say,
church is
dude.
different.
You're
I,
gonna make me forget what I'm
I,
trying to say. I'm just trying to. What I'm asking you is not what's important. I'm trying to get to a statement, but I'm asking you simple yes or no questions, not just for you to go around them so I can
No, it's not about going to
reiterate.
no.
I
It's
go
not
to
about
church
going.
early.
No, I'm not going around it. It's just my feelings on church is a little bit different. I can't really properly answer that question because I'm not really
Okay.
big on the church in general.
I
Okay.
go to
So
church, but I don't really
so you
go
don't go to
there.
church. Okay. So just say
Well,
no. I don't go to
no, it's because
church.
it's bigger than not going to church. I'm
Okay,
not
but that's the question. The question is how often you go to church. I don't go to church because then now I can move on to the next thing. How often do you pray?
every night,
Rarely.
every time I
All
eat,
do
every
you,
night,
every night.
every night.
Now, now you might say your prayers every night. I mean, I don't know if you cap it or not because a lot of people do, but
I don't.
most people don't. They say they do, but they don't. They don't. They say they do all the time, but they don't. That's just when people being real, people being honest. Because I sit up here and say, "Oh yeah," and then how often do you read your Bible? That was the next. That was the other one. How often do you read your Bible?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you
Yeah,
Very
go.
that one
rarely.
not
So
like I should.
so what I'm saying is when the shit hits the fan, when you really going through some stuff, that's when the people goes to that, right? In your situation, you might even if you say you do your prayers or whatever they, but guess what? Once you get out and you going through some things, you probably the next you're gonna turn to that Bible. You might even start going to church when shit still hit the fan. See, right now you don't have any problem strong enough to push you that route. You ain't got
Dude,
nothing that's strong
even
enough
because
to
no,
push you that route.
I don't have no currently no, but yes, I've had problems that like no, that's never been my reason ever. Even my most
Right.
dire
I know it's
situation.
not your reason. I know it's not your reason,
No,
but
no,
what
what
I'm
I'm saying
saying
this is
is
my no. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how bad things get. What's bad things happening to me is not gonna push me closer. That's not my premise. That's not how I think.
right.
If
But
I
Well,
what
man,
pulls me what's gonna pull me closer is personal decisions. It's wanting to
right.
be better in my faith, be
But the
better
average
in my belief
okay,
system.
but
Mhm.
the average person just like a child, okay? Think of your basic form. When you're born, when you're a kid, when you're a child, when you don't know nothing. Your natural instincts. You know everything as a kid until you
put
get
that
in
back on the
trouble.
couch.
Until you get in trouble. Then once you get in trouble, now you want to come to the Father. But what do you do when you're grown? When you're grown and the shit hits the fan, you go to the Father, which in our which will be God in our case, right? So what I'm just saying, like that's just a natural occurrence. I'm not saying people don't pray when they not going through something. I'm not saying people don't go to church when they're not going through something. I'm not saying people don't believe in their faith when they're not going through something. I'm just saying that a lot of people, a lot of people they go to God once something happens. Somebody there's people that they only you only see them on the church during the funeral.
That's true, and you're
You
you're
know,
speaking true facts on that, man.
that's what I'm trying to point out is that
Okay,
you
here.
might not it might be different for you a little bit, but also you gotta realize that and I don't want to get too on a personal aspect, but it's certain things that you don't deal with
Hey,
this
But
as
wait,
an
take
wait,
those
wait,
as
off.
an
wait,
Put them
okay, hold
on.
on, wait. Even in that premise, that still defeats your argument. Because that's what I'm
no.
saying. No, it does. Because your premise is when you go through tough times, that gets you closer to God. Even when I'm not going through tough times, That still
Right.
doesn't
I
change my
said
closeness to God.
on average though, on average,
So hold on.
how
Hold on,
many
hold on,
people
wait. Let me just say
on
this.
average?
Hold on, let me say this. So I will accept that if you're talking about people, if you're talking about people on average and in general, then I could probably accept
Yes.
that premise.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but like for me, and like I said, maybe I'm just different. Maybe I'm just different.
That's what I said that too.
Yeah. So if I'm just different and just because like that's never been. That's
I
why I said
said
I can't. Hold on, let me just finish.
uh-huh.
Me personally, I guess it's just because of what how I am. I can accept that premise because that's never been like a driving factor of me getting closer. The driving factor to me is a will wanting to, so again,
Right.
I may just be different. So I can
Right.
agree with that if
That
we're
could be
talking
a
about
thing, right? And that could be a thing, the will to want to, right?
yeah.
But I'm saying on average, most people
Okay.
tell you. I mean, you like I say, they don't read their Bible. They don't. If you be honest with yourself, right? It's like how many times does the average person pray and stuff. That especially if they're not in church, right? If they're not into that lifestyle. If they're not into that lifestyle, it's very slim to none, or they might have a few that might say their prayers before they eat, right? Or little stuff like that, little things that they just were sprinkled when they were a child that they just do out of habit, right? But the real, sitting down praying and heartfelt and Lord, I need you, Lord, and blah, 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 and getting into all that stuff. A lot of people, a lot of people don't, until somebody dies or something happens in their life, they don't get to that point. They're not praying like that because they just going through their life until something happens, and that something happens. That's gonna remind them. Oh, now I need to go to church. Oh, I need to call my grandma. Oh, I need to get down on my knees and pray. On the average person when they've been through stuff. Now I say, yeah, your stuff is will driven, but also what I was getting at is the fact that there's certain aspects that you don't have to deal with yet, so it's kind of hard for you to even see
Well,
what I'm saying.
well,
What I'm saying
it was not just that. It's not just that, but even if you're going to go by me and what you just said, that
Leave
kind of
your mom
defeats your
alone. Sit
premise.
down.
no, what I'm saying is it's hard for you, even if you say you have a will, right? You have a will to do this, and that's great. Not everybody has that will, you
Yeah.
know.
So
Not
that's what
everybody
I'm
had
saying.
not,
No, but my
but
point
that's
is,
great.
if you're going to go by that, I'm the worst. I'm the wrong person to use as an example.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying.
That
Well,
premise,
no,
you can't use me as a premise because I'm the worst example because that's what I'm saying. Like,
but no, your example of something else is what I keep trying to hint to. I'm what I keep trying to hint to when you keep saying what you're saying. What I'm trying to hint to is that yes, you have a will, but at the same time, it's kind of like relationships, right? You can only say so much about relationships, right? You could say somebody else's experience. You could might even be able to look at, I don't know, maybe somebody in your family's that's close to you experience, but you don't haven't had a lot of relationships. So you is even though you could go off of maybe what you've read or what you've seen, you don't have a lot of experience with it. So your perception of certain stuff is going to be completely different. And so that's what, and the reason I bring that up is it's kind of the same thing with this, because you're not on foot's end. When you're on
again,
foot's
but
end,
that still doesn't make that
I
still
don't think
doesn't.
I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand
No,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying.
no, no. Because what it sounds like you're saying, but I would say it's different. What it sounds
Okay,
like,
no,
like you're
no,
saying is
elaborate. So let me see if you
okay.
understand what I'm saying.
Yes. What it sounds like you're saying is that because I don't have the difficulties that people will go through, you don't understand, or like you're not going as deep as what you need to into the church because you're not really going through the.
No, that's not what I'm
Okay,
saying.
go
I'm
ahead.
not saying I'm not saying it like that per se.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you don't understand the premise of getting pushed to prayer, because you have not had that, you don't have to deal with that dramatic experience as
Okay,
much
okay,
as
that's
as
my
much as
issue.
some others.
But that's my issue because you're making it sound like I have to go through that to get that relationship.
No, I'm not saying you have to go through that. What I'm saying is you don't understand the premises of an average person getting pushed to that. When I say
Okay.
the average person can get pushed to that, you don't understand because you haven't got pushed to that limit. Is what I'm saying. You
Okay,
can't understand it.
I'm with you till you say that last part of you have not got pushed to that limit. What I'm telling you is I don't need to get pushed to that limit.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Well, no, because I
I'm
said
not saying you need. I'm not saying you need to get pushed to that limit. You've already established that you have a different will than others. That's cool. I'm not taking that from you. I'm not taking that from you. I can't say whether you're telling the truth or not. So I'm not taking that from you. What I'm
okay.
saying is that you cannot understand what you haven't experienced.
I would probably accept it if you just say you can't understand others and what they go through.
What I'm saying is what I'm saying is what I said right now. A lot of people can relate to, right? When I said the average person, they a lot of times they don't pray, and they don't pray until they go through what they go through, and then they down on their knees. Preachers will tell you the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Public speakers, they will tell you the same thing I'm saying right now. You when you get down, when you get that rock bottom, and that's a lot of people, that's when they start praying. That's when they finally knuckle down, like Kevin Hart's story about his Bible. You know Kevin Hart's story about his Bible?
Yeah, I know his story.
He's
Bible.
I'll say it real briefly just for the thing, which is
Okay.
basically he was going through it. He couldn't pay his rent. His mama or his grandma, whoever it was, kept telling him to read his Bible.
Yeah.
Every time she called him with a problem about paying his rent, she told him to read his Bible. And when he finally got to the point where he was on the verge of eviction, that's when he read his Bible and he found out that his grandmother or his whoever had put rent checks in his Bible. And if he had been reading his Bible like she was telling him to read his Bible, it would have been there. And the reason I use that as an example is because it took for him to get evicted about on the verge of eviction before he decided to read his Bible. And that what I'm trying to explain to you is a lot of people can relate to that. It takes sometimes a lot of people, it takes for something traumatic like that to happen before they start reading their Bible, before they start praying, before they start going. And now you might have a different will or whatever the case may be, like I say. But what I'm saying, until you out there and you go through those experiences, you can't understand when I say the average person goes through that.
Well, okay, no, okay. This is where you keep losing me. You keep saying if you have not gone through those experiences. That's the whole part. This is why I think the whole entire argument where you keep losing me. When you keep saying if you have not gone through it. My argument is why do I have to go through it to get there? Why can't I just get there?
You can get there, but I'm saying you don't understand what I'm saying when it comes to the average person. Which you say,
And,
oh no, that's not like it's kind of like
and you know
right.
what? Wait. I agree. Right. See, that's where you get where I agree with. You don't understand the average person. I can agree with that. That is that's what I
I
don't think
have
that's
not
my
changed.
issue.
Look, dude, I've been saying the same thing this whole time. I'm saying you cannot understand the average person that gets pushed to that limit because you have not been there. And I'm not knocking your will and saying you don't pray. I'm not knocking your will saying that you can't get close to God without going through what you're going through. But I'm saying the average people, they're not reading their Bible, they're not praying until the shit hits the fan. That's just basics. That's known. Like that's known. Go to any preacher, go to any public speaker who have faith. That's a known thing that people don't do it. And that's why I brought up Kevin Hart's story. Because when did he read his Bible? When he was on the verge of eviction.
Hmm.
It took for him to get evicted for him to read the Bible and find out that all his rent checks was in his Bible. Because when his grandma kept telling him to read his Bible, I'm just pointing out that that's how most people operate. But you can't. What I'm saying is you can't understand that premise because just like relationships, you haven't had the experience to understand the premise of the average person doing that. And that's what I'm trying to break down to you. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying you can't have any faith if you don't go through that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying that you don't understand the premise of what I'm saying about people when they not praying and they not reading their Bible and they don't think about church until something happens to them. That's when that comes out. That's all I'm trying to point out.
Okay, I mean,
If it makes sense.
I think right now I need the debate starting to get into semantics. I will concede that this much. If that's the average person, where the average person needs to go through a bunch of my fault. Because of the conversation, I'm trying my best not to cuss on my
It's
conversation.
cool, man. It's cool.
um, um,
It's cool. It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, but I mean, but yes, I will concede. I will agree with this. Where if the average person, and that may be true, yeah, yes, I've heard that multiple times, where the average person has to go through has to go through some mess
Some
to get close.
turmoil.
Yeah, to get close to God, then yes, I can accept that, and yeah, that's probably truer with the average person because yes, I have heard that and seen that a lot, so I can agree. So I will concede there if we can agree at that point, and then we can move on to the next topic.
Okay. I wanted your boy's opinion, but he got quiet.
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, we just want to hear
But
your opinion on it.
on what? I'm listening. I got the thing in my ear, but on what?
No, yeah, we want to get your opinion because we already talked about what we wanted to give you the final word.
Oh, of everyone's different. You know, everyone. I believe what you said is true though, because a lot of people go to God when they're having hardships, and that's when they build a relationship with Him. I mean, in some cases, you know, that's not the case because you're gonna have people that grew up in the church, and then they're
There you
always,
go.
you know, praying and doing what they need to do to have a relationship with God. But you also have people who do have a relationship with God, but that doesn't mean that they go into the church, nor does it mean
Right.
that they pray every day. So it's a little bit of
Right.
both. Each individual is different, but when it gets down to it, the bottom line is when people do have hardships, they die. What's the number one thing that you hear people say when it's hardship? You know, pray for so and so, pray for me. You guys are going through it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when they go through hardships, that's when really people start busting out the prayer, especially
And
when
that's all I
people
was
who
trying
don't
to
even
point
know
out.
you.
Okay.
Right. That's all I was trying to establish was that.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. He
Huh.
said it. He broke it down quite well.
Yeah.
Pray for me, you guys are going through it. My wife is crazy. Pray for me, you guys. These kids are driving me crazy. Pray for me. This job got me fucked up.
Right. That part.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I could agree with that premise. Absolutely.